Okay, everyone, and we're back with a game that I lost. However, this is still instructive to show you how to scrape into third. So if you're going to lose, you want to make sure you don't get fourth place. It's not always possible to make sure you don't get fourth place. For example, my last two games, I was playing with some very strong players. I was over 2,300 and I got fourth twice in a row. So it's not always possible, but overall, I think my fourth getting rate is quite low. And I opened with the same blue opening here that I did before. Attacking this pawn, red is usually going to bring that rook pawn up at this point, and he does. So, and if you'll notice, FMK, that was my opposite in the previous game, and Besher, he is a strong player at almost 2,500. So I immediately had to play a very defensive opening here. And I was starting to get a bit worried already because Green was not bringing out his queen. So I was trying to rally a lot of pieces around my king, and there is a check here. But I knew Green had at least one resource with this pawn push to defend. So when White decided to take there, Green did push that pawn. Now, that caused Red to move his queen, and after taking Yellow's queen, I felt pretty good now that we had got one queen off the board, but it was still quite a relentless attack coming that I had to deal with. Namely because Red has a check at any time, and Yellow's knight maneuvers are actually quite tricky. Okay, so then right. I tried to block the bishop check, but now you can see Yellow's knight is coming. And Green is durdling a little bit. His pawn was attacked here by Red, so he took a move to defend that, but the queen has not come out, and this is going to be a little bit of a problem in a few moves for me. You can only defend against two players for so long, and basically Yellow had 3 free moves to move the knight around. The knight started here and took a long trajectory. I believe that was the path, right? Oh no, sorry, it started here. So here, started here, then here, then here, then here, and coming to deliver a check next. So I didn't actually see that that was Yellow's plan. But now that I was in this position, it was not easy to make a move. Green was moving very slowly, and he sort of hung me out to dry. So in this position, what do you think you would do to try to deal with this check? Especially since it's Yellow's check, it's quite dangerous because that means Red can do anything after the check happens, and Red still has a queen. So for example, you might get a check, and then you might get the queen taking, and then you wouldn't be able to take back with the pawn because of the discovered check here. So I decided to just, and obviously red is moving more pieces into the fight. I decided to move the queen here, so that if the check came and the capture came, then I could take with the queen. This also got out of the way of the pawn capturing. If the pawn captured, my queen would be in danger before, but now it would just be a pawn capture. And Yellow decided it wasn't time to check yet, and Green is still slowly developing. Red captures there, I capture back, but now, of course, there's a lot of attacks towards my queen with the rook and bishop coming. Not to mention this bishop. So Red has played this very well, and if I had had another move, I would have tried to move this pawn up and block the opening of that rook, but it was impossible. Okay, so now Red comes with the knight as well. Both Red and Yellow very patient, taking their time developing the attack. which is an extremely good plan considering that green is not doing anything. So I decided to get out of yellow's check because, well, yellow's check is never as bad as, yellow's check is always worse than red's check. And I also noted that red's only check would come from this knight, so if yellow tries to move the knight and attack my queen, well then anytime red checks I can just recapture with the queen. So that was my idea here. And yellow's continues to develop because the attack doesn't work yet. And green's finally starting to get in the game here. And red starts to stack for this pawn. And in this game, sacking a knight for 2 pawns is not even bad. So that's actually quite a good move by red. It would be a good move normally. But now basically my last defenses are gone and green is not really developed yet. And so here with the check, and my queen is in danger anyway, I decided to take the rook. It's 5 points. And you can see I'm getting squashed pretty badly here. Okay, green mates a queen, but red sacks for it immediately. Oops. Okay. And okay, green tries to defend me, which is nice. He should have moved his rook in front here and allowed it to be taken by the bishop to give me more defense. But now, yeah, okay, actually I made a mistake here. If you'll note, I let this rook be captured. I thought I could recapture, but I forgot that this is free-for-all and green's rook is stopping me from recapturing. So I lost a piece for free there. Heavy, actually. And it turns out green's defense was not so strong either. Red and yellow are bearing down on him quite quickly. Okay, and they start checking me. And it's a check every turn, so I can really never take anything, except for that bishop there I did take. And green moves the queen in to defend me for a little longer. So I have no problem with that. And I snag a pawn here. And unfortunately after that I'm being checked while they promote. So I did get checkmated there. But if you notice, I picked up as many points as I could before the checkmate. So it's kind of bad for green that like he was willing to play the game. He was willing to bring his rook and queen down to help protect me, but it was way too late. So if you're going to commit to you kind of have to pick one, is what I'm trying to say. You have to commit to the helping your partner strategy, or you have to commit to the turtling strategy. And if you're going to turtle, then don't bring your pieces down when your king can be checked, just to have them become lost. If you're turtling, you should have a much safer king and a much stronger position from which to start coming to help. So green had like green was trying to play like 2 different strategies, which is not a consistent plan, and so he was checkmated very quickly after that. And as you can see, all of these pawns, I mean, one of yellow's pawns already did promote. All of these pawns would have promoted very easily, even if green had a lot of pieces, because I wouldn't be here to stop them with my pawns. So also turtling for green would have been a bad strategy, as these pawns would have just promoted anyway, in most cases. So ultimately green was checkmated, and I believe, how did yellow lose? He just resigned. Okay, I'm not sure if I would have resigned as yellow there. You sort of still have a chance with all these pawns, but of course having a queen for red is also quite strong. Ultimately, oh sorry, that was not the case. It was yellow claiming the win. Okay, yellow had enough points to claim win. So actually, I'm not sure why red went for this right now. He could have kept green in the game a little bit longer and gone for his own win. Maybe Red was not looking at the score completely, or maybe something else was going on, where he just had to leave, or maybe he felt that he didn't have a good, convincing way to win anyway. But anyway, the green was taken out in short order after I was taken out, and then I did claim third, which is only minus 0.8. So yeah, that's the story here. I stayed alive as long as I could. I took whatever help I could from green. I did make one mistake, as far as I can tell, moving the rook, losing the rook needlessly. But I think my defensive play was okay. There is ultimately no way to defend if two players have infinite time to attack you, right? Yellow had the time to make 4 knight moves in order to deliver one check on me, and green couldn't do anything in that time. So ultimately, if two players are against you, there's no way to defend. And the best you can do is cut your losses and play for third. So that's what I did this game, and it worked out quite well. So I was happy with the result. All right, so hope in all your future games you defend as well as you can, don't give up, and play for third if you can. Let me know if you've let me know in the comments if you've had any games where you've managed to take second or third in a terrible position. And I'll see you in the next one.